President Biden has begun his three-nation European trip that has some big implications for support for the war in Ukraine. The president's first stop is in London to meet with the new king before the NATO summit kicks off tomorrow. Wake Up Charlotte's Alice Barr now on Capitol Hill with those details.
Good morning, Ben. The NATO summit is really the centerpiece of this trip, and as President Biden is touting his recent efforts to strengthen the key military alliance, new challenges are going to test that unity. President Biden touching down in London Sunday night ahead of talks today with UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak and a meeting with King Charles. The leaders looking ahead to this week's NATO summit with a central focus on supporting Ukraine's fight against Russia while stopping short of granting Ukraine NATO membership.
I don't think it's ready for membership in NATO, but here's the deal. I spent, as you know, a great deal of time trying to hold NATO together.
If they were hypothetically to get NATO membership now, well, then NATO's at war with Russia.
Also testing NATO's solidarity, President Biden's decision to send cluster munitions to Ukraine. More than 2/3 of alliance members have banned the weapons because of a history of detonating after battle, injuring or killing civilians. Many fellow Democrats oppose the move.
Cluster bombs should never be used. That's crossing a line.
President Biden saying the weapons he authorized won't be used in civilian areas and have a low rate of misfiring.
It was a very difficult decision on my part. And by the way, I discussed this with our allies, discussed this with our friends up on the Hill.
He called Russia's brutal assault a war of munitions and said Ukraine was running out. Some Republicans criticizing the administration for not acting sooner.
As you look at the counteroffensive, it's been slowed tremendously because this administration has been so slow to get the weapons in.
Key tests this week for the NATO alliance and President Biden's influence on the world stage. The NATO summit kicks off tomorrow in Lithuania. President Biden will be rounding out his foreign travel with a visit to NATO's newest member, Finland, for the U.S. Nordic Leaders Summit. In Washington, I'm Alice Barr for Wake Up Charlotte.